Ladies and gentlemen, Barry C here with another cryptocurrency video, and now is the time to hold, persevere, be patient, especially when it comes to XRP. Now, a lot of what the content I'm making sort of about now is what I was doing in 2024 before XRP skyrocketed in November of 2024. There were months and months and months and years of people getting frustrated, people getting annoyed, even people saying, hey, Barry C, you're making the same content. You keep saying XRP is going to skyrocket in November, and I don't believe it. And then it happens, and then people get frustrated because they didn't buy enough XRP or they weren't prepared enough. And it's that downtime that is really difficult. It's difficult to have confidence. It's difficult to be patient because we're not seeing the type of prices that we want with XRP. I mean, I'm not seeing the type of prices I want with XRP. But that's why we have to hold. And this is the boring but the most important time. Because if you get to an alt season and XRP starts going to $10, $20, $50, maybe higher, let's say we get a utility run as well and it goes to $100 or $1,000. If you don't spend the downtime, the bear market, the boring times where XRP and the market's trading sideways, if you don't spend that time building and growing and accumulating, then you're going to have nothing to show for it when it comes to taking profit. You're not going to be able to take profit. And when you do take profit, you're not going to make the sort of money that you would hope to have made. Because everybody wants that volatility and they want that life-changing money. And not financial advice, ladies and gents, but that's why these time frames are so important. These time periods are so important. And let's be really realistic about it. Like, it's not like we're waiting 3.5 years of a bear market. We're only a month and a half into the market trading sideways and dipping down. There's still time for an alt season. There's still time for the market to turn around. It's not like everybody now has to sit back for 3.5, 4 years and wait and see what the next bull run has to do. But let's be realistic about it. You know, even when people got into the market and they're frustrated, and I even saw a post today of people, or even comments in my YouTube videos of people saying, well, I've held XRP for 4 years and it hasn't gone where I want it to. And I'm like, yeah, but I mention in most videos, and most people with common sense can look and see that it's a 4-year cycle in the market. You get a Bitcoin halving event, you get a bull run, you get an alt season, then you get a post-alt season crash, and that becomes a bear market for about 3.5 years, almost 4 years, until we see that play out again. And that's happened time and time again since 2016 until now. Even before that, we saw it happen with just Bitcoin, where it went from like $1 to $10 to $100, and then eventually up to $1,000 from like 2011 till 2014 and 2016. And then we saw the alt seasons that we now come to expect. But there's always been an alt season in crypto. It's always happened. And within that alt season from 2016 until now, we've always seen XRP perform well. And it's these time frames and these periods and of time where we're frustrated and it's boring. And look, it's, difficult because, a lot of the content is very similar to it. Look, I'm making almost daily check-ins at this point because there's nothing groundbreaking at the moment. Like, we haven't seen the bank announce they're going to use XRP. We haven't seen XRP skyrocket to $500. We haven't seen BlackRock come out with a BlackRock ETF. Like, those things haven't happened. And so what do? Well, I'm making the content I wish I had back in 2016, which was when things are just kind of in a weird limbo where things are trading sideways. The market can go somewhere. And look, even I wish this content was around 2018, 2019, going into 2020, because it's nice, I think, if you have someone who you enjoy their content and it's like this daily check-in and giving you that perspective of where the market could go. And look, not financial advice, of course, but this is my perspective from 2016 until now on where I think the market can go. And I've seen people make these mistakes over and over and over again, where they get impatient, they get frustrated, they make really big mistakes by either cashing out their positions or swapping into another crypto or just not buying crypto. And we saw this happen in November 2024. I'd been saying for years and years that we're going to get the first leg of the bull run, end of October heading into November. And XRP is going to lead the way because we don't have what we saw in 2020 and 2021, where we saw top-tier exchanges delisting XRP because of legal uncertainty. We didn't have that uncertainty around XRP in general because of the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. We had a lot of confidence around XRP heading into this bull run. We had a legal decision that XRP was not a security, and it looked like it was going to be a very promising start to 2025, where we had a pro-crypto president. We had Brad Garlinghouse talking about XRP ETFs. We had all these things in place, and so from a very early stage, I was saying, hey, November's going to be exciting, and we're going to see XRP lead the way. And it did. And unfortunately, a lot of people are in a position where they weren't in the best position to take profits because they hadn't accumulated at all. In some instances, some people hadn't bought XRP. They were waiting for the quote-unquote right price. Or a lot of people had bought some XRP but hadn't built and grown their bags because they were waiting to see what happens. And then they were waiting to catch that pump up, and they didn't. Because it's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to try and catch in that split second before everything changes and the XRP starts moving. It's hard to go, okay, it's 50 cents. Now it's going to go to $1. I'll try and catch it at 60 cents before it skyrockets up. It's very difficult to do that. And so then you're left at the top where now XRP is over $2. It's $2.50, $2.60, $2.70. And then early 2025, it's $3. And so now you're sitting there going, well, I could have bought more XRP at 50 cents, but I didn't. And so now people say to themselves, well, I'm going to wait and see what happens because if it dips back down, I'll buy. But what they don't realize is that with the alt season coming up, if XRP goes to $10 or $20 and we see a 50% market correction like we usually do, well, now the cheap entry point is $5 or $10. You're not going to see 50 cents ever again. Those days are gone. And these are the mistakes people make every bull run. We saw it in 2017 as well. XRP was less than 1 cent a coin. And then in 2018, it skyrocketed to over $3. And then people were like, oh no, I'll wait for the 1 cent XRP. But now they're paying 10 cents or 15 cents or 19 cents. This happens every step of the way. And a big mistake people make is that when they finally get into that 3.5-year waiting period, which we know is a bear market, instead of going, okay, how can I build? How can I grow? Instead, they get frustrated, they get holders fatigue, or they just get disinterested in crypto. They're like, I'll come back to it when it starts moving. But then once again, you haven't spent that time building and growing, so you can take full advantage of the alt season. Because when things start going 100x, 1000x, even if you have a small bag, there's no guarantee of amazing profits if you only have a small amount of XRP. Even if it goes to $100 or $1,000, you may be in a situation where maybe you can buy a house, maybe you can pay off some bills, but can you really change your life at the level you want to? Not only your life, but your family's life and your loved ones and your friends or your kids or your grandkids or your grandparents or whatever it may be. Will you have the scope and the scale of money that you would want to not only change your life long term, but the lives of the people around you that you love? Those are the important things to ask yourself. And so when you're looking at building and growing, or maybe you're just holding and going, okay, I've built and I've grown my bags as much as I can, I've bought as many dips as I can. Well, now it's just a case of holding and waiting and being patient. And once again, this comes back to the idea of making this content daily. It's actually very helpful for me because, I'm building and growing and holding myself. And so I make this content and I go, well, what would I like to hear if I was just sitting at home or at work or wherever I was, or at the gym, wherever I was, and I was frustrated about where the market is. And to have somebody who's been in crypto since 2016 till now saying, hey, there's still time for an alt season, don't compromise your position. That's the kind of stuff I wish I was hearing back in 2018, 2019. Heading into 2020. And I had to kind of learn all that stuff the hard way. And look, here's the thing. Let's say we don't get the alt season that we want, but then we get the utility run we weren't expecting. There's so much potential with XRP. It's not just about alt seasons. Because here's the thing. We've just seen at a presidential level them endorsing the likes of Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, and a couple of other projects. And it just takes one bank to go, you know what? If the president likes XRP, we like XRP. And it may even be Bank of America. They may turn around and go, you know what? It's America first. It's all this positivity around crypto, about creating better financial options and opportunities. And we want to have innovation, and we want to adopt blockchain technology. And we want to look at the crypto we've been trialing for years, and that's XRP. Great. That's the crypto they turn to. And suddenly banks are now interested and adopting and utilizing XRP. And now you're not looking at, well, $2 or $3 or $5. Now you're looking at $100 or $1,000. That could absolutely happen a lot sooner than people anticipate. And then once again, what were you doing on the days where the market was kind of trading sideways and doing nothing? Were you working on building your bags and setting up a plan and a strategy? So if we do see $100 or a $1,000 XRP, we're in the best position possible to make life-changing gains? Or were you just disinterested, frustrated, fatigued, had enough, given up? And look, not financial advice, ladies and gents, but I'm here to say don't give up. There's a reason why XRP stood out to you in the first place amongst all the other cryptos that you were seeing or were available. There's a reason why XRP stood out. And there's a reason why you took your hard-earned money and you were willing to put it into XRP. And you were willing to take that calculated risk. And there's a reason why you are willing to hold XRP until something exciting happens. So don't let anybody talk you out of that. Don't listen to the FUD. Don't listen to the negativity. Don't even let the market shake you out. Because what you will come to realize the longer you're in crypto, and this is something I had to realize over time, is that crypto will be cheap until it's not. XRP in particular will be cheap until it's not. And we saw that in 2017. It was cheap. It was at 1 cent until it wasn't. It was suddenly $1, $2, $3. Nobody saw that coming. It's only after the fact that people were like, oh yeah, I could see how that happened. Same thing in 2020 and 2021. XRP was nice and cheap, around 10 cents, 15 cents, 19 cents, until it's suddenly $1. It's $1.65, it's $1.80. And people are like, well, wait a minute, isn't there this lawsuit? Aren't exchanges delisting it? How could it still rally and still get above $1.65 to $1.80? It's only after the fact that people look at it and go, wow, I could have made some money if I'd just done some stuff differently. Same thing happened in November of 2024. People had years to accumulate XRP at 30 cents or 40 cents or 50 cents. And all people were doing was saying, you know what, it's going to be dead. It's not going to go above $1. There's no alt season. It's all these people speaking with such negative determination. And then November rolls around. And suddenly we're seeing $1, $2, $2.50, $2.60, $2.70. And then once again, people are sitting there after the fact going, well, if I just bought more XRP, or if I just done some stuff differently, I could be in a position to actually take profits. And look, I was one of the few people even in November, or the end of November, talking about taking XRP profits. And so many people were like, why are you doing that, Barry C? Why? You should be holding to $100 or $1,000. Don't take profit when it's only $2 something. And for me, I'm like, well, I've learned the hard way that if you don't take profit, you can quite easily end up in situations where a lot of people are now, where the market's trading sideways and they wish they had some profit in their back pocket. And so for me personally, and I'd mentioned this on the channel many, many times, I was working on building a specific bag so I could take profit, so it wouldn't compromise my other XRP holdings. This is something I also discussed at great length with my Patreons, explaining that this is the reason why I'd been accumulating XRP, was to build a take profit bag. So it wouldn't compromise, it wouldn't impact my short-term, mid-term, long-term bags that I'd already set up for alt season, kind of mid-term utility run, and the next bull run and the bull run after that. I designed those bags specifically and then added a take profit bag so I wouldn't compromise any of my plans. And this is something that you could be doing right now. Like I said, not financial advice. It's just looking at the market in a more common sense way and thinking to yourself, okay, let's look at a variety of price points. Let's look at $3, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, $1,000. If XRP hits any of those price points, can I actually take profit? And can I make my life and the lives of my loved ones better? And at what price point can that happen? What price point do I need to see to change my life? And it could be something as simple as I can take care of my debt. I can pay off a house. I can buy a house. I can pay for my kids' schooling. You could cover some medical bills, some pet bills, whatever it may be. There's a variety of things. Or maybe it could be a case of going, you know what, I can improve my standard of living. I can move to a better area, or I can eat better, or I can go to the gym more, or I can take some time for myself. I can book a holiday, whatever it may be. There's so many things and so many different price points that we can utilize to change our life for the better. And that all starts now. When it's boring, when things are trading sideways, take a step back and make sure you have a plan so you're in the best position possible. So when XRP and the crypto market start skyrocketing, you're in the best position to take the best type of profits. And as I said, ladies and gents, none of this is financial advice. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you're curious about the other cryptos I hold outside of XRP, consider becoming a patron. Click the link in the description below, head across to my Patreon page, and consider becoming a Barry C VIP. There you'll have access to all my cryptos, as well as my buy, sell, and take profit signals in real time.